For people affected by the flooding in Somerset, things were made worse by the feeling of not knowing what was being done to manage floods and feeling that more could be done. Learning from this, the Environment Agency has undertaken some work known as trigger points, which set out key actions that we will take to reduce the impact during a flood. The aim of these trigger points is to help everyone understand what to expect in a future flood, to assure people of our commitment to carry out planned actions and to provide reassurance during the event that we are doing what we said we would. These trigger points will identify certain actions which can be undertaken during a flood when river levels are at a given level. It will also highlight certain actions that we cannot undertake because of the high river levels. We have 10 trigger points, 8 of which are at Environment Agency operated pumping stations, and the other 2 are on the King Sedgemoor Sowie system. Currymore, Northmoor and Saltmoor are all inextricably linked. Past drainage works have ensured that Currymore is essentially a bathtub, so that water from the River Tone fills up Currymore. When that moor is full, it will then spill over into Saltmoor and Northmoor. So these 3 pumping stations work in tandem when conditions allow. I think it's really important for people to understand that the pumping stations can only operate when there is capacity within the rivers to receive the water that is being pumped. And the trigger points will allow people to understand what they can expect. It's a balancing act in ensuring that the pumps are operated in a timely fashion, as turning them on too early will increase flood risk downstream. And we have to be very careful because it will involve water that has been pumped re-entering the moor over the spillway again. Now, under normal circumstances, these pumps can operate fairly quickly once the river levels have gone down. However, what happened in 2013-2014 was that we saw a succession of storms which kept the river levels high over a very long period of time. As a result, the pumping stations could not operate and the moors continued to fill. The King Sedgemoor drain system is a structure and a watercourse which removes water from the River Parrett just downstream of Langport. That water is removed via Monksleys Clyce, which in turn feeds into the River Sowie, eventually finding its way into the King Sedgemoor drain and then out to sea via the River Parrett at Dumball Clyce. Once we start to reduce the levels in the Parrett, all these pumping stations can operate sooner, and with the trigger points criteria having been met, we can then start to introduce the temporary pumping facilities. The procedures that the Environment Agency uses are well founded. They've played a key role in managing historical flood events right up to the present time. These trigger points will sit alongside those operational procedures as an addition when we get a flood of the magnitude we saw in 2013-2014. The trigger points will provide information on exactly what's going on at certain sites, when pumps can operate if a river level is at a certain point, when it can't pump because the river level is too high, when roads become impassable, when spillways are likely to run. All this information will provide the public with an understanding of exactly what's going on the ground, and then take comfort, hopefully, that the agency will be providing these additional pieces of work, including operating the Sowie King Sedgemoor drain system, putting additional pumps in order to reduce the impact of that flooding over a continued and long period of time.